Welcome to this science-backed, step-by-step guide on how to identify your personal trigger foods. This video will help you uncover the foods that quietly drive overeating, cravings, and digestive distress, so you can build a personalized plan that works for you. This program is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team as part of the Health and Wellness and Diet series. Generic diet rules often fail because they assume one size fits all. Human biology is individual, influenced by your gut microbiome, stress hormones, sleep patterns, and food history. The real problem is a mismatch between generic rules and your personal biology. Understanding your specific trigger foods is the foundation of lasting change. A trigger food is any food or eating pattern that leads to an undesirable physical, emotional, or behavioral response. This could be a craving spiral, an energy crash, bloating, or a mood shift. Triggers are deeply personal and can often be surprising. There are 3 types of trigger foods. Behavioral triggers cause compulsive eating patterns. Physiological triggers result in measurable bodily reactions, like blood sugar spikes. Emotional triggers are tied to memories, comfort, or stress relief. Identifying which type drives your patterns is the first step toward change. The roadmap to identifying your triggers involves 5 stages: observe, audit, identify, test, and build. This guide will provide you with practical tools and methods to move from confusion to clarity at your own pace. Step 1 is to observe your patterns without judgment. For 1 week, simply notice what you eat, when you eat, and how you feel before and after each meal or snack. This observation is the most powerful tool you have. During your observation week, pay attention to physical sensations, like energy levels, headaches, or digestive discomfort. Track your hunger and fullness cues. Finally, note the timing and context of your meals, as this often matters as much as the food itself. The Food Mood Journal is your most important tool. Log your meals and any physical or emotional reactions within 2 hours of eating. Research shows that consistent logging, even for a few days, can reveal powerful patterns you never noticed before, empowering intentional choices. Step 2 is to run a personal food audit. After a week of observation, review your data with fresh eyes. This is about identifying which foods appear most frequently alongside your least comfortable moments, not about judging what you ate. To conduct your audit, first gather your data by highlighting negative reactions in your journal. Next, look for repeating foods across different days and contexts. Then, separate food from context, ruling out situational factors. Finally, create a short suspect list, and don't forget to celebrate positive patterns, noting your power foods. Behavioral trigger foods are often engineered for hyperpalatability, a blend of salt, sugar, and fat that overrides natural fullness signals. Recognizing this neuroscience is key, as it's not a character flaw. The goal is understanding, not blame. Signs of a behavioral trigger include loss of control, finishing more than planned, or constant cravings for the food. Other signs are guilt after eating, which can trigger more eating, and rapid, mindless consumption, disconnected from taste or enjoyment. Physiological triggers can manifest as blood sugar and energy crashes from refined carbs and sugar. This crash triggers intense hunger and cravings. Digestive distress triggers include foods causing inflammation, bloating, or discomfort, such as lactose, gluten, or FODMAPs. Symptoms can be delayed, so careful tracking is vital. The blood sugar roller coaster illustrates how eating refined carbs and sugar leads to an insulin surge, followed by an energy crash and brain fog, and finally, intense cravings for quick energy. Identifying which foods trigger this loop is an impactful step toward change. Emotional eating is common and rooted in neuroscience. Food can genuinely soothe stress or provide comfort. The goal with emotional triggers is awareness, not total elimination. Understanding this connection is essential for building a sustainable plan. Common emotional eating triggers include stress, where cortisol increases appetite. Boredom often leads to eating for stimulation. Loneliness makes food a source of comfort. Finally, celebrations can also be powerful triggers, as festive foods are tied to memory and belonging. It's vital to distinguish between physical and emotional hunger. Physical hunger builds gradually, is open to various foods, stops when full, and leaves no guilt. Emotional hunger is sudden, craves specific comfort foods, persists past fullness, and is often followed by guilt. Emotional needs deserve emotional solutions, not food ones. Step 3 is to identify your triggers with confidence by spotting patterns, confirming consistency across contexts, and naming the trigger. A food is a confirmed personal trigger when the same reaction occurs consistently across different days, contexts, and emotional states. The elimination reintroduction method is the gold standard for identifying physiological triggers. You remove a suspected food for 2 to 3 weeks, then carefully reintroduce it and observe your response. Always consult a dietitian before eliminating major food groups, especially with a history of disordered eating. Common trigger foods include gluten-containing grains, dairy products due to lactose intolerance, and added sugar, a primary driver of blood sugar instability. Also, caffeine and alcohol can disrupt sleep and appetite. Finally, ultra-processed foods are often powerful behavioral triggers due to their hyperpalatable design. Step 4 is to test and confirm your triggers. After your audit, test your hypotheses like a curious scientist. The goal is to gather data, which requires patience and honest self-observation. Use the 5-question trigger test. Does the food consistently precede symptoms? Does removing it improve how you feel? Do symptoms return upon reintroduction? Is the reaction dose-dependent? Is context a factor? Answering these honestly confirms your triggers. Pay attention to your body's signals. Digestive signals include bloating or cramping. Energy signals manifest as afternoon crashes or brain fog. Mood signals can be unexplained irritability or anxiety following a meal. Tracking these helps pinpoint which triggers are active. The gut-brain connection is crucial, as 90% of mood-regulating serotonin is produced in the gut. Disruptors include processed foods, excess sugar, alcohol, and stress. A fiber-rich, diverse diet supports a healthy gut, reducing food sensitivity over time. To track energy around meals, rate energy before. During the meal, eat slowly and mindfully. 30 minutes after, note fullness and initial sensations. 60 to 90 minutes after, log any crashes or cravings. 2 to 3 hours after, check how well the meal sustained you. Step 5 is to build your personalized eating strategy. This living framework is flexible and sustainable, designed around your unique biology and preferences. It's about informed awareness and building a plan that evolves with you. Your personal food framework involves 3 tiers: power foods, dose-dependent foods, and avoid foods. This flexible approach prioritizes awareness, not restriction, and allows informed choices about when and how to enjoy certain foods. Personal power foods are the backbone of your framework. They include foods that stabilize energy, such as complex carbs, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Also, foods that support your gut, like fiber-rich vegetables, and foods that lift your mood, like those rich in omega-3s and magnesium. Managing trigger foods involves creating distance for behavioral triggers and planning intentional indulgences mindfully. Pair physiological trigger foods with fiber, protein, or fat to blunt blood sugar spikes. Most importantly, develop non-food coping tools for emotional triggers, such as exercise or journaling. Mindful eating is scientifically proven to reduce binge and emotional eating. Simple practices include eating without screens, taking slow breaths before the first bite, and pausing halfway through a meal to reassess your hunger and fullness. Cravings are not character flaws. They are information. Learning to decode what your body is truly requesting is an empowering skill. Most cravings have an underlying root cause that, when addressed directly, significantly diminishes their intensity. If you crave sugar, it often signals blood sugar instability, dehydration, or poor sleep. Try water or a balanced snack first. Salt cravings may indicate dehydration or electrolyte depletion. Crunchy food cravings are often an emotional release for tension. Comfort food cravings usually point to an emotional need for warmth or safety. Digestive triggers include high FODMAP foods, cruciferous vegetables, and lactose. What you can do is adjust preparation methods, portion size, and meal timing. For example, cooking vegetables or soaking legumes can reduce gas-causing compounds and make foods more manageable. Blood sugar management is a crucial strategy. Pairing carbs with protein and fat results in 30% higher satisfaction. The gut-brain axis is powerful, as 90% of serotonin is made in the gut. Awareness is key, as people using food journals achieve twice the results of those who don't. Also, remember 68% of the global population has some degree of lactose sensitivity. Social settings are powerful context triggers for overeating, not just because of the food, but the environment. Factors like larger plates, distraction, social pressure, and celebratory norms often override your body's natural hunger signals. To navigate social eating, preview the menu to make calm decisions. Eat a small, protein-rich snack beforehand to manage deep hunger. Choose mindfully and eat joyfully with full attention. Finally, release the all-or-nothing mindset. Flexibility is a sign of a sustainable approach. Seek a registered dietitian for multiple sensitivities or diagnosed conditions. Consult a therapist if emotional eating affects your daily life. Consider medical testing if you suspect allergies, celiac disease, or inflammatory bowel disease. Seeking support is a strength, not a surrender. Sustainable habits are built on awareness, knowing your triggers and habits, and flexibility, avoiding rigid rules. They also require compassion, being kind to yourself, and progress, focusing on small, consistent steps. Your sustainable eating plan is one you can maintain during busy and stressful times. For your weekly check-in, review your food mood journal for patterns. Celebrate your wins, acknowledging every moment of awareness. Adjust your food framework based on what you've learned. Finally, set one specific, achievable intention for the coming week. Self-compassion is a strong predictor of healthy behavior change. Guilt and shame are obstacles, not motivators. Every stumble is a data point, and every day is a fresh opportunity. You are learning, not failing your way through this journey. Your trigger food profile includes confirmed triggers, your personal power foods, and context triggers. It also includes your craving decoders and management strategies. This profile is your personalized nutrition GPS, built from your own data, and can evolve as you do. The process moves from observation to audit, where you identify suspects. Then you test to confirm your triggers systematically and strategize to build your personalized plan. Finally, you thrive with food freedom and confidence. Remember, awareness comes first. Your food mood journal is essential. Biology is personal. Ignore generic diet rules. No judgment is required. Compassion accelerates change. Focus on progress over perfection. One mindful meal at a time is enough. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. Just one small step. Pick up a journal. Notice what you eat today and write down how you feel afterward. Your relationship with food is waiting to be understood, and you have everything you need to start.